G'day guys and gal, chapter masters are always cool. Being the best warrior and leader of an army of 1,000 super soldiers who dedicate their life to war is a pretty gnarly feat. When I say chapter master, you're probably thinking of legends like Logan Grimnar, Tyberos, Asterion, Dante, Calgar, those legendary heroes who seem like they could crush Abaddon's balls all by themselves. However, with 1,000 or more Space Marine chapters out there are many chapter masters who are just as cool that you've never heard of. Until today. Before we get started, we've finally done it. Do you remember this artwork of all these really cool chapter masters I worked with alongside a few other legends? Well, I promised to turn all of them into a major mini, and I can finally say, we've done it. As today, I'd love to unveil the legendary Black Dragon alongside the epic Guardian of the Covenant. Holy fuck guys, that Black Dragon, Jesus Christ. I know nobody plays Black Dragons, but either it's time to start or it's time to paint this dude as another chapter. Likewise, the Guardian of the Covenant makes an awesome custom chapter master or even as a really cool chaplain. Now here's the cool part. Other than this really fun slider my website team cooked up, you can get the entire Master of the Chapters range in a single purchase, and although that might sound retarded because who the fuck owns 9 obscure chapters to put them in, they all make for great proxies of HQ units. Wolf Master is an awesome Terminator, the Mortificator is a great Centurion, Guardian, Exorcist, Soul Drink are all sweet as chaplains or even librarians, Raptor is a Scout Lieutenant, Hunter and Lord of Lament make great lieutenants, and the Black Dragon is really cool and black, which is enough for me. Literally, LeBron James is a miniature and is my new favorite. Sorry, Dragon Warrior, black is the new white. Remember, we're also still running the $21,500 USD major mini painting competition for one more month until March. And honestly, guys, I haven't really gotten that many mind-blowing submissions. So if you're semi-decent with a good camera, you can easily win one of the categories and take home thousands of dollars. There's still time to order and paint, and if you can't decide which mini, then bro, come on, there's like 100 SKUs now. Link is below. Let's get this bread. Today we'll go over 5 obscure but awesome chapter masters you probably haven't heard of. Let's get into it. Now this first one might sound like a cop-out, but it actually isn't. The Raven Guard Chapter Master. Caven, just kidding, he isn't actually the Chapter Master anymore. Get pranked, fuckface. See, Caven Shrike was the Chapter Master of the Raven Guard. However, he was doing it as a bit of a, I know I'm currently the best for the job, but as soon as someone better comes along, I will vacate it for them, which is unheard of. Thus, this new, obscure but awesome Raven Guard Chapter Master, also known as Master of the Shadows, is Aethon Shan. Now the cool thing about Shan is that he didn't just appear out of nowhere like some Mary Sue. He has been a key part of Raven Guard lore for some time now. He was the first captain of the 4th Company where he fought alongside Uriel Ventress and the Ultramarines against Warsmith Honsu and the Iron Warriors, also against a shitload of demons. He was an incredibly skilled and reliable warrior, being honoured by the Ultramarines for his role in aiding them, as he and his warriors' stealth skills were instrumental in the fight. After this, he was then promoted to captain of the 1st Company, taking command of the Raven Guard's logistics and homeworld, while Caven Shrike continued to take the fight to the galaxy. See, Caven was like a warrior king. He led from the front in the most daring assaults, taking on the most intense duels and was constantly risking his life, which isn't actually what a chapter master should be doing. Sure, all the cool ones do it, but a chapter champion is the one who should be doing that, whilst the chapter master is taking overall command. So while Caven was being a hero, Shan was learning to be a leader, learning the rights of Shadow, and also being one of the only Raven Guard to master the trifold paths of Shadow, those being ambush, stealth, and vigilance. Shrike was just constantly horny for ambush, however Shan had all 3 mastered, thus was a much more balanced Raven Guard. After 3 consecutive masterful and decisive victories by Shan during the Indominus Crusade, Shrike felt like he had finally found the true Master of Shadows, vacating his role and promoting Shan. Caven continues to lead many Raven Guard and fight in various wars, however Shan is now the true Chapter Master and now also has a pretty badass mini. Now for the next one, I want to do a bit of a 2-in-1. The Exorcist Chapter Master is Amy Vasaphon. However, I also wanted to shout out Silas Alberic, one of the largest Space Marines to ever exist. Silas was a beast, and people compared his size to an Ogryn rather than a Space Marine. Space Marines been 7 to 8 feet tall, Ogryn's been around 9 to 10 feet tall, so the dude was huge, up there with Tyberos and Alexis Pollux. He distinguished himself during the Bad Dab War, slaying many renegades. Man, I kind of feel bad for the renegades in the Bad Dab War, going up against Silas, Tyberos, and other absolute units. However, Silas was the 3rd Company captain, Amy Vasaphon is the Chapter Master. Now the Exorcists have a brutal initiation program. They must be possessed by a demon and then use their force of will to exorcise the demon from their bodies. It doesn't have a high success rate. Amy had the misfortune to become a host to a demon of Nurgle who just taunted him the entire time, even feeding him prophecies which have mostly come true. When Amy finally cast the demon out 7 days later, he needed to have a fair few showers to get over that one. However, the demon of Nurgle made a bit of a miscalculation. By taunting Amy so much, he had turned him into the most vindictive anti-Nurglite Space Marine in the entire galaxy. As such, Amy has gone out of his way time and time again to target and destroy the forces of Nurgle, causing them a disproportionate exorbitantly high, ungodly amount of damage which never would have happened if a different demon possessed him, or if the Nurglite demon wasn't just such a smug asshole. Amy was the first Exorcist to undergo the surgery to become a Primaris, as anything that improves his Nurgle slaying ability he's keen on. Also, the dude wields a sword called Voidbane, which is badass. A few people may rage at this one, but honestly, unless you've played the Dawn of War campaigns, and considering the last Dawn of War came out in 2009, most people would barely know much about them, that being the Blood Ravens with Gabriel Angelos as their chapter master. Now, like it or not, Gabriel is the only Space Marine on record to be able to do both a front and backflip in Terminator armor. That's a thing that he did. Okay, that aside, Gabriel is an absolute monster. Now, I'm not going to go over 2 entire games worth of lore, but his highlights include noticing that his homeworld had started embracing peace and democracy, so he blew it up, before then also killing his father because his father hated that his son was taken from him and turned into a murder machine. He then wiped out both an Orc invasion and an Alpha Legion infiltration simultaneously. He also managed to slay a demon prince alongside various Chaos champions. His next achievement was accidentally waking up a Necron tomb world before then blowing it up. Then he went to go on to have a punch on with Ahriman, and then he clapped a Hive Tyrant. Next up, he killed another demon prince's ass before losing his right eye and legs. But don't worry, he has new ones that are apparently suitable for flipping in Terminator armor. This was all before he became Chapter Master, mind you. He was promoted after his recovery, and then he went and blew up another planet. Dude is literally Space Hitler at this point. The Blood Ravens have been getting smashed after the opening of the Great Rift. They had planned a massive rebuilding of the chapter, but were cucked hard, which is what I think Dawn of War 3 will be about when it launches later this year. The Soul Drinkers have one of the most tragic tales of all Space Marine chapters, with their most tragic figure being their chapter master, Sarpedon. However, unless you've read their books or lore, you probably would have barely heard of them. They're allegedly a successor chapter of the Imperial Fist, and would become renegade when Sarpedon challenged their chapter master Gorgolon for control, as they were going through a bit of a crisis that was partially the Imperium's fault, partially their fault, and partially Chaos's fault. It was a mess. However, during the duel, Sarpedon gained Chaos mutations which allowed him to win, before then purging the chapter of everyone not loyal to him. It was also revealed that a demon prince of Zinch was manipulating the chapter and had been slowly mutating or swapping out their pure, hard to corrupt Imperial Fist gene seed with something more susceptible to chaos. The Soul Drinkers were hunted by the Imperium and also didn't do themselves too many favors either, acting very renegade, but Sarpedon saw himself as loyal to the Emperor and even heard his voice, not realizing that voice was actually a demon prince. Womp womp. They were eventually captured by the Imperial Fist and forced to stand trial for their crimes. However, this would be the opportunity for Sarpedon and his brothers to make amends. See, during the trial, a secret Chaos Soul Drinker Dreadnought that everyone thought was dead sprang his trap card, hoping to flood the Phalanx with chaotic forces and take control via opening a warp gate. The Soul Drinkers joined forces with the Imperial Fist and fought back. They threw themselves at the enemy and almost all of them died. The few remaining survivors, including Sarpedon, then walked into the warp gate that was opened, embracing oblivion as their penance. This sacrifice made the Imperial Fist declare the Soul Drinkers as loyal, inscribing their name with honor, and the chapter was even refounded with new Primaris Marines in the current setting, using original Soul Drinker gene seed, not whatever the fuck they had when they went renegade. And finally, we have one that I know a lot of people were curious about, the chapter master of the Raptors, Laius Isidun. The Raptors are kind of mean for being a force of reasonable, non-spaz Marines in a galaxy full of unreasonable spazzers. There is even the Reasonable Marines meme chapter who are basically the Raptors, like there isn't even much difference. Laius is known to despise personal glory. Everything he does for the Raptors. He is a god-tier marksman, a brilliant strategist, and is a master of stealth tactics. Laius would gladly use the most dishonorable low-blow tactics if it meant saving Raptor lives and winning battles. Dude loves a cheeky landmine. His nickname is The Grim, as he isn't a very cheery fellow and also isn't very talkative. His only concern is victory for his chapter and preserving his brothers. Laius wields a very spicy gun called Malice. It's basically a sniper rifle fully auto bolt gun with modified ammunition. That ammunition being whatever he wants: Dragonfire, Hellfire, Kraken, Tempest, Vengeance, all the bolt gun types. The dude is versatile as fuck. Laius is very active in the current setting, scattering his chapter amongst Guilliman's Indominus Crusade to act as scout specialist while he leads his own forces in Vanguard patrols. There is quite literally no enemy in the galaxy Laius has yet to face. So there's 5 cool ass chapter masters you probably haven't heard of. Man, if only the Soul Drinkers, Exorcists, and Raptors had models of their chapter masters, it would be so dope. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then pick up the Black Dragon, the Guardian of the Covenant, or just the entire Masters of the Chapter bundle, which will save you 25% over getting them individually. And remember, at 700k subs, we're doing a drunk charity live stream, so be sure to subscribe if you want to see me get blackout, say some controversial things, and help a good cause. Join the Discord for more memes, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.